Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Satchidananda Rupaya Vishvotpattyadihetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Shri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Hari Om, salutations to all. So we are doing 6th Canto and we are now on chapter 3. Chapter 2 we saw how Ajamil was saved and his past we saw, and Yamadutas, they go back because Ajamil called out Narayana, his youngest son's name, and Vishnu Bhagawan's Dutas came there and they told Yamaraj, they told the Dutas of Yamaraj to return. And this whole thing Ajamil has seen as though like a dream. And he feels that unconsciously I called Bhagawan's name and this is what happened. Then he was a Brahman anyway earlier and following a righteous way. So he comes back to his senses, he repents, he realizes, okay, what a mistake have I done. I have fallen in my dharma. So he renounces and goes to Haridwar, and there he starts doing sadhana and he comes to realize oneness with Bhagawan. We should remember this is in the context of Prayaschitta. That we should not forget. So Ajamil did a lot of wrong things in his life. From the dharma of a Brahmana that he was following, he fell, he became sensualist, he became completely immoral, and he started doing everything which is prohibited. Then this whole episode has happened, and so as a repentance, he goes to Haridwar and he chants Bhagavan's name. And so there, this is what we saw, that finally he assumes the body similar to, meaning he got Sarupya Mukti, so he got the similar form as the Vishnu Dutas and he went to Vaikuntha. Now the point here is, Parikshit Raja had asked about Prayaschitta, and he had also said that even if a man does Prayaschitta, sometimes again he repeats the same sins, and he had given that example of the elephant who takes the bath in the lake and comes out and then again sprinkles all the mud on himself. So then what is the use of Prayaschitta? That was the context. So as long as the Jiva Bhav is there, so long this will continue, and that's why it was said that knowledge must be gained, and then Bhakti, the importance of it is what this prasang is. That if one takes Bhagavan's name and one lets go of the ego, surrenders to Bhagavan completely, then that entity who does the wrong, who does the sin, that entity is dissolved. Then the Prayaschitta, then the sin will not repeat again. So either through Jnana Marg, where one realizes my nature is Satchidananda Swarup Atma, or through this Bhakti Marg, where one surrenders to Ishvara. So now, having said that, now what happened to the Yamadutas? Because they are confused, they were doing their duty. So why did they have to return? Now that is where the 3rd chapter begins. So Parikshit Raja, he asks to Shukdev ji that 3rd chapter you see now. Raja uvacha निशम्य देव स्वभटोपवर्णितं प्रत्याह किं तान् प्रति धर्मराजः एवं हताज्ञो विहतान् मुरारेः नैदेशिकैर्यस्य वशे जनोऽयम्. Now, what did Yamaraj do? Because who is Yamaraj? Under whom everything is controlled. And that Yamaraj had sent his dutas as per the requirement of the karmic laws. And so their job was actually filed by the Vishnu dutas who came there. So then what did Yamaraj do? So that's the question. Because the dutas went to Yamaraj and reported to him saying, we went to do our duty and this is what happened there, and these people who are divine beings, they came and then they told us to go back. So this type of a superseding of Yamaraj's authority has not been seen before, is what the king asks. Yamasya devasya na danda bhangaha. Yamaraj is the god of righteousness, and nobody transcends his authority, especially in in this Martya Loka. Then how come this Ajamil got spared? Kritas Chanarshe Shrutapurva Asit. This has not been heard ever before. Hence, you please clarify that what did Yamaraj tell his messengers and how did he handle this situation and why did this even happen? Ajamil should have got the results of his karma. Now, why did that not happen? So Shukdev ji says that the messengers of Yamaraj, they went to Yamaraj and what did they say? So first he narrates that Yamadutaha uchuhu. This is fourth shloka onwards. Kati santiha shastaro jivalokasya vai prabho traividhyam kurvata karma falabhivyakti hetavaha. Straight away they ask him this question that how many rulers are there? Kati santiha shastaraha. And how many rulers are there for this human beings who perform three types of actions? Jiva lokasya vai prabho traividyam kurvatah, meaning those who do this good deeds or who do bad deeds or who do mixture. That freedom only we have. When Bhagawan says karmani eva adhikaraste, adhikara means qualification. So that qualification to choose and do what purushartha one wants to do, that is only with human being. Animal cannot choose consciously. Animal chooses, but instinctively. It doesn't have that self-awareness. It doesn't have karta bhav. So human being can do good, bad, mixture. So he says, Traividyam kurvata karma, falabhivyakti hetavaha. And even that results which come, they will also come like that. The results of good actions will be good, leading to happiness. Bad actions will be bad, leading to suffering, and mixed actions will be mixed. So he says to govern this karma and give each jiva the results as per their karma. The Yamadutas are asking how many lords are there? Yadisyurbhavo loke shastaro dandadharinah kasya syatam nava kasya mrityuschamritam evacha. If you say that there are so many rulers who are there, each one presides over the law of karma, then there is a confusion because then who will give which results to whom and how the jivas are going to get these results of good, bad, mixture, all this. um, the person who does the bad should go to the hell or should suffer the negative consequences. The person who does the good must go to heaven or should be able to enjoy the positive consequences. Now, who will ensure all this? Because there are so many people. There should be one ruler. Is there one ruler or are there many? That's what they want to know. So that is one. And then Kintu Shastra Brihatve Syad Bahunamiha Karminam Shastritvam Upacharohi Yatha Mandala Vartinam. So he says that if there are many rulers, then their authority will be there is no doubt. But it is like the authority of, there are so many subordinates, one main ruler. Below them, there are subordinates. So, who is that one who is on top? Because they are thinking, oh, maybe Yamaraj is only a subordinate, there's somebody above him. So, they are asking him, are you the subordinate? Are you the superior? Who are you? And what is the authority? And so, they think, so this is the question that they have in mind, that in general, if there are many lords or many people who are controlling, there will be one person who is on top. And as far as we are concerned, we think you are that person who is on top. But now suddenly someone else came. So now you tell us, basic import is that much. So they say that you are the authority stands superseded, means your authority stands superseded. Till now we thought you are the most powerful one and you are the controller of everything. But now your authority is superseded now. Tasyate vihato dando naloke vartate adhuna chaturbhir adbhutai siddhaihi ajñate vipralambitaha. Vipralambita, sorry. So they are saying that these four divine beings they came, they put aside your order. So till now we thought you are the supreme. Your order cannot be superseded. But now these four people came and then they superseded your order also. So they say that we want to know. We are very keen to know. And very humbly they ask, if you think it is, we are deserving to know this, please tell us that the moment that Narayana word was uttered, Tanste veditum ichhamo yadi no manyase kshamam Narayana iti abhihate ma bhaihi ityaya urdrutam. That the moment Narayana word was uttered, then what happened? They granted fearlessness. Ma bhaihi, meaning don't be afraid. These beings, they granted fearlessness, they superseded your order. So we want to know what is the truth, what has happened, why this happened. We thought you are the supreme most. Now who are these four people? So having being asked such questions, see the beauty also. No, Yamaraj also can be questioned. This is our Sanatana Dharma here. There is no imposition of the faith saying this you have to follow. You can't ask any questions. No. Krishna Bhagawan was also questioned by Arjun. Here Yamadutas are questioning Yamaraj himself and asking him, who is the greatest authority? You please tell us. Till now we thought it is you. Now we saw somebody else coming and superseding your order. So, and why that Narayana word was so powerful that this Jiva was freed from the noose of death and he got protection also, that don't be afraid. So now when Yamaraj was asked this question, Yamaraj did not take it personally, saying, "Who are you to challenge my authority? Of course, I am the supreme. Don't get deluded." Nothing like that. Very humbly he answers. So beautifully he answers, you see. This is the humility of Yamaraj also. This is his surrender to Bhagawan also. And this is his straightforward reply. He doesn't have false sense of ego, saying, "Oh God, they till now were thinking that I am the supremest. Now I have fallen in their eyes. Oh, they will know okay, somebody else is greater than me." Oh no, 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 no. He didn't have any such inferiority at all. So Yamaraj reply very beautiful. Paro madanyo jagatastasthushuscha ओतं प्रोतं पटवद्यत्र विश्वं यदंशतोऽस्य स्थितिजन्मनाशा नस्योतवद् यस्य वशे च लोकः. So he very clearly says the Supreme Lord, who is the Lord of this whole creation which is animate and inanimate, is other than me. Straight answer. Paraha madanyaha. Paraha means supreme. Jagataha Tasthushascha, meaning the inanimate and animate creation, the Lord, the Supreme Paraha, is Madanyaha, is different from me. And where is that Lord? Otam Protam. He is in, pervades everything. How? Patavadyatra Vishwam. Like how this cotton pervades this whole cloth. Actually, there's nothing else but the cotton only in the cloth. Everything else is only appearance of that cotton. So in that same way, Vishwam Rotam, this whole universe is pervaded only by Bhagawan, and that is the Supreme Lord, that is other than me. Other than me meaning I am not the Supreme uh, ruler. And so he says here, by him this whole universe is pervaded. Yadanshatosya sthiti janmanasha. And this one small amsha of his is this Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So sthiti janmanasha can apply to creation as the creation, sustenance and destruction, and also to Brahmaji, who is the creator, and then Vishnu Bhagavan, sustainer, and Shiva, the destroyer. He says one small tiny manifestation of his infinite glory is this whole Srishti, and in that Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are also one small part of his manifestation. Nasyotavad yasya vashecha lokaha. So he says here that like the bullock. Now this bullock, there is a string that is put through the nose of that bullock, and that, the charioteer, suppose the bullock cart is going, then there will be a nose, no, there will be a thread passing through the nose, and through that the charioteer will control the movement of the bullock. Same way he says that each and every jiva is like that. The whole universe is subject to control by the Supreme Lord, who has put this thread as though in the nose of each and every jiva, and controls everything, meaning I am not the supreme. There is a supreme creator who creates, who sustains, and into him everything goes back, and he controls every single thing here, including himself, Yamaraj. That he will explain anyway as we go along here. So he gives that, he carries forward that analogy, saying that just like this farmer, he ties his bullocks, with a long cord. In that same way, the jivas are controlled by Ishvara. And how, what is that cord? So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, the temperaments, and then according to that, the duties. And as per the Vedic injunctions, each Varna has their duties. Through that, the Jiva is tied to the samsara. So that analogy there is of the the nail to which the bullock is tied. So what is that nail for the human being? That nail is the Vedic knowledge. And as per that Vedic knowledge, the Varna Vyavastha, as per that the Jiva does the karmas. And so here he says this. He gives them different duties as per the Vedas and ties in the shape of the Varna, the Nama, then the duties. All these actions that the beings do, being in different Varnas, following their duties, is actually an offering to Bhagawan. And so he says that that Lord is the Supreme, who is Mahavishnu, Narayana, whatever you call him, whose 114 has 11 Brahmanda. So that is the Supreme Vishnu, and so he has no qualms in saying that no, I am not the Supreme. There is no false prestige, dambha when we say false pride. How can I be? No, I am the Supreme. Who is there beyond me? There's nobody greater than me. Yeah, believe that I am saying it. Devata here, Yamaraj is a Dharmaraj. He can't tell lies. Otherwise, he will fall from his position. And second, he has no, and he himself is a devotee of Bhagavan Vishnu. That's the best part. Mahavishnu here in this context, or Narayana. He himself is a devotee who has surrendered. So he is thrilled to listen. Bhagavan Vishnu's dutas had come and then they took, they told my dutas to return. And so he is very happy that Bhagavan's dutas came. And hence he says that all these, now he lists so many different class of uh, the celestial beings who are all empowered by Bhagavan only, who have no power on their own. So now he says this now. See this 14th one. Aham Mahendro Nirriti Prachetaha Somognirisha Pavanorko Virinchaha Aditya Vishwe Vasavotha Sadhya Marudgana Rudragana Sasiddhaha. So all these people, so different directions, the deities of the different directions. So Yamaraj is the direction guardian of the southern direction. Then Indra of the east, Nriti of the southwest, Varuna of the western quarter, the moon Soma is for the north, Agni is for the southeast, Ishana or Shiva is for the northeast, and Vayu is for the northwest, and Surya, Brahma, then the 12 sons of Aditi, then the Vishvedevas, then the 8 Vasus, and the Sadhyas, then the 49 Maruts, the presiding deities of wind, then the 11 Rudras, then with all the other Siddhas who have specific powers and great, what you call that, yeah, mystic powers that they have, the creators of the world like the sage Bhrigu, then the rulers like Brihaspati, the preceptor of the Devatas, others too who are not tainted by Rajas and Tamas, in whom Sattva predominates, even all of these beings who are themselves great by themselves, in their own capacity, they are great, but they don't know what is the intention of the Supreme Bhagavan, meaning they all are only controlled by, empowered by Bhagavan. They don't have their own independent power, which is the supreme power. No, supreme power is Mahavishnu. And so the analogy given now is that all these beings also, they are dominated by his Maya. Then what to talk about other creatures? Of course, they will be under the influence of the Maya of Bhagawan. And then he gives the analogy like the colors cannot perceive the eye, because what is seen, that is Jada Vastu. The seer is sentient. In that way, the jivas cannot grasp supreme consciousness with their senses, with their mind, or with the intellect, because that is the ultimate cause. And this body, mind, intellect, etc., they get empowerment only through this Supreme Lord. So, like Gurudev used to give the example of the cell, the torch. So, in the torch, there are these cells which are put, and then the torch light is lit. Then that bulb will illumine whatever is there in front of it. Now, if the bulb wants to see what is the source of my light, then you disconnect that whole bulb, and then you bring that bulb to see the battery. It can't see because the bulb is not having any power now. So Gurudev used to give that example. So our, like that bulb is getting power to illumine is because of the batteries. Now disconnected from the battery, if the bulb tries to come and see, there is no light for that bulb to see. So that light came from where? That came from those batteries. Same way, the effect is the body, mind, intellect. That is empowered, enlivened by consciousness. Now, through this body, mind, intellect, one can't as though turn around. Another example Gurudev used to give was of the sparrow. So there is a mirror, and this one sparrow comes, and the sparrow sees, hey, there is another sparrow here. So the sparrow goes behind to meet that other sparrow. But when it goes behind, it's my way, there is no sparrow here. Again it comes in the front, again it says, hey, there is one sparrow. Very funny it is how the sparrow keeps going behind and keeps searching, where is that other sparrow, where is that other sparrow. When it comes in the front, there is one sparrow, but when it goes behind, there is no sparrow. It is literally like that. The whole universe is appearance of Bhagawan alone. And the difference in that example is that the sparrow is different, the mirror is different, and the sparrow is only seeing its reflection there. Here in our context, what it will be actually, from Advait standpoint, if you see, this whole universe is appearance of one truth, which is us. If that mirror is removed, one will realize, array, there is only one truth. Because of that mirror, there are two which are appearing. Same way, through the mind, when we are seeing duality. If we go beyond the mind, then we'll realize, oh, there's only non-dual truth. So now here, this jivas. So example given here is that color cannot perceive the faculty of vision which reveals them. In that same way, jiva cannot grasp infinite consciousness as an object. We should remember that. As the subject and beyond that, so one can definitely realize, because that's our nature even now. But as an object, it cannot grasp. And so he says here that this Supreme Lord, who is the creator of the whole universe, who sustains, destroys it, and all the other devatas and siddhas and all that was listed, they get power from him. But they don't know his glory. The effect will never know the glory of the cause. So here he says ki these were the messengers, the four angelic type of people who came, divine forms that took and came. They were the messengers of that Supreme Lord, who is the controller of Maya, and they go about in this world because they have a form, they have virtue, they have compassion. This Vishnu Dutas also are going around the world. They can't be seen easily by people. But why are they going around the world? Because they are protecting the devotees of Bhagawan from the enemies as well as from me. Yamaraj says, from death. That's what he says. Rakshanti tad bhakti mata parebhyo Mattascha Martyan Atha Sarvatascha. So they go around protecting the devotees from the evil as well as from me, from death. Now, he goes on to say that in fact, even the seers, gods, foremost of Siddhas, hardly can know the virtue expounded by Bhagavan himself. Then what to talk about demons and human beings and Vidyadharas, Charanas and others. Now he lists 12 people. Brahmaji, Naradji, Shivji, Sanat Kumar, Kapil Muni, Swayambhu Manu, Prahlada, Janaka, Bhishma, Bali, Shukdev, Shukdevji, yes, and Yama. He says these 12 people, they alone know the essence of dharma. As taught by the Lord, they know the secret of it, they know its purity, and it is very difficult to understand. By knowing this, one attains immortality in terms of Jivan Mukti and or realization of the truth. Now, for all the others, because the point here is these 12 people know the essence of dharma and that is very subtle. But for the common man, what is the way for mukti? Just chant Bhagavan's name. That is not only the way for mukti, that is also the prayaschita. So yes, there are different types of prayaschittas which are there for different types of actions. The sins and other things depends on what is done. You know, the papa, mahapapa, pataka, like that. There are different levels of sin. Ordinary, like how we have even in the legal system. Somebody does little bit of theft, somebody does a big scam, somebody does murder, somebody does much more. So as per the crime, the punishment will be given. In the same way, here in the Smritis also, it will be like this, that so many different levels of sins which are there, the Jiva will get according to that different types of punishment. So for that, the Jiva should do different types of prayaschita also. Somewhere it will be upvas, somewhere it will be pancha agni, sit amidst five, uh, fires. In the hot sun, you are sitting amidst the whole circle is made, and then the four corners there are agni, so pancha agni. One is sitting in between, and sometimes they put agni on the head also, and they are sitting there. So different types of prayachittas are given, but of all the different types of prayachittas, here it is said this is the best one. It will remove all sins, which is what Namasmaran. Most powerful one, simplest and most powerful one. So he says here in this 22nd one, एतावानेव लोकेऽस्मिन् पुंसां धर्मः परस्मृतः भक्ति योगो भगवति तन्नाम ग्रहणादिभिः. So to chant the name of Bhagavan, hold on to name of Bhagavan and to chant that name of Bhagavan, this is declared as the main duty of all human beings in the world. Pumsam dharma parasmritaha. Especially this Kali Yuga, the Nam Smaran is the Mukhya Sadhana. And so one should just chant Bhagavan's name. With Shraddha also. See here, that's what will come now. That he chanted it without Shraddha also and he got liberated. Then what about those who chant with Shraddha? So that's the point here he is making. To celebrate duly the virtues and exploits of the Lord and to chant his name, this much is not needed for wiping out the sins of men. For even the most sinful Ajamil attained liberation by simply calling his son, not even with proper intonation, as Narayana, and on the verge of death, when his body or mind were not even in sound condition. Just by calling the name, that's the Nam Mahima. With bhakti, with clarity, with devotion, with intonation, One may or may not know any of that. Just he called Narayana, he just called. Unintentionally he called. Still the power of Bhagwan's name is what? That the Vishnu Dutas they came. So this is the glory of Bhagwan Nam Mahima, which will help for Prayaschitta also, which will help to realize Jivan Mukti also. And this is contrasted, saying that people who don't understand this, the glory of Bhagwan's name, they think that they can do yajna, yaga, havan, puja, all these, and it is greater than Nam Smaran. But here it is said, no, it is not like that. So the average man learned in scriptures, whose judgment is bewildered by the Maya, and whose thought is focused on the teachings of the Vedas, full of sweet and attractive, rites and rituals, etc., generally does not realize the glory of Bhagwan's name. Why? Because he remains attached to the performance of the rituals and the yajnas in grand sacrificial undertakings. See, why this is said also we have to understand. Today we may not even be attached to some of the rituals like this. But if you see, the Vedic mantras have that power. That's the glory of the mantra also. That the Vedic mantras have the power that when we chant a Vedic mantra, if it is done with proper intonation, etc., purity, all that is required. It will compel the Devata, who is the presiding deity of that mantra, to come. And so the whole sect of people who are called Mimamsakas, they are ritualists, they believe only in karma. And what karma is that? This Vishishta karma, like a yajna, havan, all these, where Vedic mantras are used, and the power of the Vedic mantra is it will bring the Devata, even whether the Devata wants it or not. And so because that is there, and then of course when the Devata comes, then there will be whatever abundance and blessing and wealth and whatever positive has to happen will happen. So here it is said that people resort to only those, ignoring the more subtler and simpler sadhana, which is Nam Japa. See, I'm not saying rituals can't be done or they should not be done or they are any lesser, but this is the context of Bhagwan Nam Mahima. So Bhagwan Nam Mahima is not to be undermined, and ritual should not be overhyped. Because that's what we do. राम राम करने से क्या होता है? यज्ञ करो, हवन करो, आहुति प्रदान करो, बैठो अग्नि के सामने, and people have that kind of a mindset. Both sadhanas are powerful, they have their own benefit, no doubt. But that havan sadhana or that yajna sadhana is very difficult to do. Not everybody can do. Because for that one should know the proper mantras and the ahutis and the right offerings of the ahutis and purva puja before that and all that, lot of technicalities. Those who are adept at it, they still do it, and those who want it, they will ask somebody to do it on their behalf. So the yajman will tell, oh, this pandit should do, that priest can do, please do, and they'll give the dakshina. But that only goes to prove that not everybody can do it, because it requires not only a process but also chanting and then the attitudes and bhavana and all that. Nam japa is none of that difficulty. I mean, you can of course visualize Bhagwan's form and with single pointedness chant and focus, but even if that doesn't happen, like he didn't do any of that. No, Ajamila was on the deathbed, and there he is calling out Narayana. That too, not even the name of Bhagwan with the intent. He is calling Narayana his son. But the power of the name of Bhagwan is such. That is the whole beauty here. We should take that essence, that Bhagwan's name is most powerful, and never to think it is only some sound symbol. It is only something created by the rishis to make our mind increase concentration, or it is just a way to mm, feel safe and secure that okay, Bhagwan is with me even in the difficult times. So sometimes this type of thoughts come and one develops some ashraddha or The faith is not strong enough. Like even now it happens. Even now when this Kumbh Mela is going to start now next week. There are some people who have a lot of Shraddha, there's no doubt. But there are some people who don't have Shraddha. They're going to Kumbh also. But they think that, oh, it is only a symbolic thing. और स्नान करने से पाप थोड़ी धुल जाते हैं. So if you think like that and go, तो ठीक है फिर नहीं धुलेंगे. But Shastra is saying that if you go there, you do the snan there on the specific day where the tithi is mentioned. Devatas also come, Siddhas, many of the divine beings come there. You and I, if we don't have that sadhana bal, we won't be able to see. There are great Mahatmas who see also. And they have written, they have experienced, they have shared it, and it has been parampara going on for such a long time now. And that's why that Amrit Kal is important, and that day where the Tithi, where as per the planetary positions, of the Jupiter and the Sun and the Moon and all that. Then on that day, that time one does the Snan, definitely Papa will get destroyed, whether we know it or not, whether we believe it or not. But if we believe it, much more we will experience and much more will happen. So now do that with Shraddha. Don't think it is all symbolic, it is just to psychologically to make us feel, purer. No, the karmic effect is there. See, that is called Shastra Shraddha, okay? Everything can't be proved by science. दिखाओ scientifically मेरा पाप कटा कि नहीं. अरे how will scientifically I prove कि पाप कट गया? It is not possible. It is a mystic phenomenon happening in our sanchit karma. Karma bank is maintained by Bhagawan and Shastra is given by Bhagawan. With that Shraddha we go. And you look at the people, from where all they come. Why are they coming? They are not coming to think here a symbolic baat hai. They are coming with full Shraddha ki Bhagawan, my papa should get destroyed and I should, each one has their own sankalpa. Somebody wants progeny, prosperity, peace, happiness, realization, so many things each one wants. Kumbha will fulfill whatever desire one has. So the point is one goes with Shraddha. How many, you see the common folk which goes there, what Shraddha they have. From their village they are walking and going up to Kumbh. And with such humble places they stay. Every year they do Kalpavas. So many Mahatmas also come there. So many sadhaks also go there. They stay 1 month there, Kalpavas. And they take bath in that cold water in the morning and live on simple food and do Nam Japa, do Anushthan, do, Parayan. If you go there, you see all that. It's a very powerful place. And once in 12 years, this Kumbha happens. Purna Kumbha. Otherwise, Ardha Kumbha happens. But the point is, the whole thing is on Shraddha. And if that Shraddha is there, the whole effect of it is absolutely different. Spiritually, one's evolution will go up. One will evolve very quickly. Because Shraddha is the main fuel. And that Shraddha is not some loose-ended, some belief system. It is based on the Shastra, based on the experience of so many Mahatmas. And all this prasanga, what is said here. So, with Shraddha, one should do. The simplest of sadhanas which is done with great Shraddha will lead us to realization, and the most complex of sadhanas done perfectly but without Shraddha will not lead us there. So a lot depends on this. So it's not that one should not do any other subtler sadhanas, one can do, but Shraddha is the fuel. And always remember, it is the power of Bhagawan only which takes us, which does everything. We say, I did. That I only has to go. So when one takes Snan, what is the meaning of that? You take the dip, let go of the ego, let go of the past, let go of the Jiva Bhav, and come out from there. Brahman alone exists, full stop, nothing more. Baki rest of it is there is a play of Brahman only. So Vedantin will have that mindset. And you see some of the sadhus, they rush to that Triveni Sangam like children they will be. Because for them it is full bhav. They live some mountains and caves and rocks and forests, and somewhere they all are living and doing some tapasya, and for Kumbh they come. And on that appointed day, you should see them. They will run and they will jump because for them it is Ganga Maya. It is not river, it is not water. It is expression of the divine, whom they have been worshipping, revering. They will jump like children. They will run and they just go and jump. A sight to behold. Such people, when you see, then the Shraddha one will see, then one feels, oh. Some people don't understand all this. They think, oh, what is all this show? Oh, it's all silly. Oh, is there so many people taking bath? Very unhygienic and all that. Hygiene factor, etc. Yes, efforts are being made for it, no doubt. But go beyond all this. I'm not saying live in unhygienic conditions or go and suffer. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Kumbh is a occasion to rise above the physical. And you see so many hum people with such humility, they come there and they live with such basic things, but their mind is devoted to sadhana, to Bhagawan, to meeting Mahatmas, getting their Ashirwad, getting some Gyan from them, doing Anushthan daily. You look at the place, anywhere you look, some sadhana is happening. Somebody doing yajna, somebody doing chanting, somewhere katha is going on, somewhere some dhan is going on, bhandara is going on, temples people are visiting, snan is happening. What a spiritually charged place it is. But as I said, the whole thing is based on Shraddha. Here also it is like that. So that's why he says the Naam Japa, name of Bhagwan is most powerful. And hence, those people, here Ajamila example is given, that he took the name even without awareness that this is Bhagwan's name, without intent to call out to Bhagwan. Just the name of Bhagwan and the Dutas came, which means how powerful is the name. That's what Yamaraj is trying to say. Hence, what do these wise people do? Evam vimrishya sudhiyo bhagavatyanante sarvatmana vidadhate khalu bhava yogam te mena dandamarhantyatha yadyamisham syat patakam tadapi hanti urugaya vadaha. So, pondering thus, what do the wise people do? Pondering thus meaning knowing the glory of Bhagwan's name. What do the wise people do? With undivided mind. Anante Bhagavati. They do practice of chanting of Bhagwan's name with great devotion in their heart, and they glorify Bhagwan who has infinite virtues. Such people, Yamaraj says, they don't deserve to get any punishment from my hand. You see that? Na dandam arhanti atha. If since they are doing this, taking the name of Bhagwan with so much of devotion, bhav, single pointedness, extolling Bhagwan as the greatest, they don't merit punishment at my hands. Uh, Even if a sin is ever committed by them through inadvertence, the very utterance of the name of the Lord obliterates it. All the sins of the past will get destroyed with Bhagwan Naam Smaran. And that person will be purified. So this is Mahima of the Naam. Then he says that Bhagwan, Devatas, Siddhas, all of them also sing the glory of such devotees who have purified themselves by chanting Bhagwan's name. and they who have taken refuge in Bhagavan, such devotees, their lives and their glories are sung even by Devatas and Siddhas. So he tells his dutas, don't approach such men who are taking Bhagavan's name. Why? Because the Gada of Vishnu Bhagavan protects, Mahavishnu protects these devotees. Meaning you be careful, otherwise you'll get beaten by the Gada only. Luckily, the dutas of Vishnu Bhagavan, Mahavishnu came there and they politely told you ki, how can you take and give the logic and all that, and they sent you back. But you be careful because the Lord who is above me is that Supreme Lord Vishnu, and his Gada is protecting all the devotees who are taking his name. So don't go to such people. Um, bring those people alone to me, the impious people alone to me who are averse to the joy of this honey like sweetness of the lotus feet of Bhagavan. The example given here is that lotus like feet of Bhagavan, there are devotees who are like the swan of the highest order, who have renounced everything, who don't have that ego. They are sipping that nectar. And there are those who are not engaging in the Namasmaran, who have not renounced their ego and they're doing adharmic acts. You bring only such people here, he says. Bring the wicked fellows whose tongue neither recounts the virtues nor utters the name of the Lord, whose mind never contemplates on his feet, whose head does not bow even once to Krishna, and who have never rendered any service to Bhagavan in their whole life. Now he seeks forgiveness from Bhagavan, you see. 30th shloka. तत्क्षम्यतां स भगवान् पुरुषः पुराणः नारायणस्वपुरुषैर्यदसत्कृतं नः स्वानामहो न विदुषां रचिताञ्जलीनां क्षान्तिर्गरीयसि नमः पुरुषाय भूम्रेः. He says that supreme Purana Purusha, ancient Purusha, meaning the supreme cause of the universe, Bhagavan Narayana, may he put up with this offense committed by us, meaning he takes responsibility for his dutas mistakes. And he says we are ignorant servants of that Lord. So we crave for forgiveness with joined palms, because forgiveness alone becomes the greatest of the great. So glory to that Bhagavan. Please forgive us, because my messengers went to bring this Ajamil who chanted your name. And so, having said this, so the point is obviously not that the devotee will not die. That is not the point. That devotee also will have to drop the body, but suffering, sorrow, then taking them to hell, going through the punishments in that hell because of the papa karma done in the past. Remember, that was the question this chapter began with, because previous chapter ended with description of hell. Parikshit Raja got concerned and he said, no, how do we escape from that hell? To escape from the hell, papa karma must not be done, or what is done should be destroyed. So the papa karma will be destroyed by chanting Bhagavan's name and continuing to live a righteous life thereafter. See, that's what Ajamil did, no? Ajamil transformed. When he saw this whole thing like a dreamy experience, that he called out to his son's name and then Vishnu Dutas came and saved him. Then when he woke up from that, he realized, Kyare, what was I doing? And he left his all wrong ways of living, transformed to become a bhakta, renounced everything, went to Haridwar, immersed himself only in exclusive sadhana of Bhagavan. Now, that is what one has to do. In the sense, if one is chanting Bhagavan's name, one must drop papa acharan, meaning drop all the wrong conduct. One should not have this attitude that my papa is destroyed, now I will I can do new papa. Then the pap will not be destroyed. We had discussed this even in the earlier class. That is called Nam Aparadh. Nam Aparadh meaning if I am taking the name of Bhagavan and I am continuing to do adharmic actions, then that name will not fructify. It will not destroy the uh, pap karmas of the past. It will not bless with more bhakti for Bhagavan. Basically, it will become ineffective then. So this is not a license to say, okay, we can do anything, just take Nam Japa and everything will be, do Nam Japa and everything will be destroyed. No, no, no. It will be destroyed only when the person comes back to dharmic acharan, drops all adharmic things, drops selfishness, learns to surrender to Bhagavan, then it will happen. So conditions will apply. So now having said this, you just imagine Yamaraj's humility also. No? He is saying, Bhagavan, you please forgive me. My messengers did this. You are in a abode of compassion. Please forgive us for this. And so Shukdevji concludes here saying that Tasmat Sankirtanam Vishnoho Jaganmangalam uh, Jaganmangalam Ahamsam Mahatamapi Kauravya Vidhyaikantika Nishkritim. O Parikshit, know the chanting of the name and the praises of Lord Vishnu as a source of blessing to the whole world and the complete atonement for the great sins. See that. Ekantika Nishkritim. One simple but most powerful atonement for all the sins is the name of Bhagavan, Nama Japa. Shanvatam Gunatam Viryan Yuddhamani Harirmuhu Yatha Sujataya Bhaktya Shuddhenatma Vratadibihi. Even by many other sadhanas, the mind is not as purified as by Nama Japa. So he lists here through fasting, through other means of devotion, through even listening, uh, or just by repeatedly hearing or narrating the glory of Bhagavan. Through none of these by itself, the bhakti and devotion will increase as much as it will by Nam Smaran. Ha. Also, yes. So, not by fasting other means, but devotion is engendered in the heart of those who repeatedly hear or narrate the accounts of the exploits of Hari. So, Bhagwan's glory, if we listen, we repeat and chant the glory of Bhagwan's name, then devotion will increase. By fasting, by rituals, by any other forms of austerity, it will not do that much as it will do through this. So that's the glory of Nam Japa and Mahima. Then he says, he who enjoys like a bee the sweetness of Sri Krishna's lotus feet delights no more in the enjoyments brought forth by the Maya. Once they have been given up by him as conducive to suffering. For the Bhakta, it is all unnecessary bondage. And we drop all that. If one has to be in the world, one will be in the world, do the duties as an offering to Bhagavan, enjoy also as offering to Bhagavan. Focus is not on any of that. Focus is on bhakti, on seva. The other man who doesn't enjoy the lotus feet of Bhagavan, the sweetness of the lotus feet, is buffeted by desire, takes to action to atone for the sin, which leads only to sin again. Which means what? The other types of action which are devoid of devotion. Where, as we said, put some fire and stand there or do some upvas or, so many other types of chandra and vrata and all that very hard prayashchittas. They have their own impact, no doubt, but if bhakti is not there, the ego will still remain. Ego still remains, the sin will again repeat. So, two solutions Shukdevji gave. One, completely surrender ego through the knowledge of the self. or completely surrendered ego through Nam Japa and Bhakti. If that ego is surrendered, the sin will not repeat. If ego is not surrendered, sin will continue to be repeated in some way or the other. And so here is this particular prasang which ends. So when Yamaraj explained all this, it is said that the Yamadutas were very satisfied and they were not at all surprised to hear and realize as such the greatness of Bhagawan depicted by their master Yama. Afraid of men depending on the immortal Lord Vishnu, they shuddered even to look at them from that moment. Meaning what? They don't look at the bhaktas, so bhaktas will be spared. Again, as I said, it's not that they won't die, but Yamadutas who take them for Yamayatana. Yamayatana means going into hell and suffering all those different 28 levels. That will not happen if they have followed this sincerely, what is said here. Dwelling on the summit of Mount Malaya and worshipping Sri Hari, the glorious sage Agastya narrated to me this secret legend. So Shukadevji also says, what is his source? From where is he telling this? So Agastya Muni had told Shukadevji this story. And so Shukadevji says, Ki this I had learned from Agastya Muni, and so that is the answer to your question. So this ends this one whole prasang of the 6th chapter. Now a new different prasang will start that we take up in our next class. So next week we won't have, week after that. Sorry. Next class is on 22nd. Yes, Jyotsna ji.
Hari Om Swamiji, my question is that like Ravan he did so much puja for Lord Shiva and then you get all these boons and all and then they misuse it. So, I mean, I'm a little confused. Like you get a blessing, then you misuse it. So or does the Lord not know that they will misuse it?
Bhagavan, of course, knows everything, but Bhagavan has given Swatantrata to Jiva, no? And so Bhagavan will give the boons and then the Jiva will use it, then good will happen, misuse it, then the bad will happen, and the Jiva has to suffer the consequences of both. So that's a way for the Jiva also to realize and for others also to know. Ravan did tapasya, but what type of tapas? We have to understand that also. Vibhishan, Ravan, Kumbhakarna all did tapasya. Kumbhakarna asked for tamasic boon. Ravan asked for rajasic boon. I want not, nar and vanar, except that nobody should be able to kill me. But Vibhishan asked for the devotion to the Supreme Lord. So Vibhishan had that ability and he had Sattva Guna and he asked for bhakti. Ravan asked for power and he wanted to destroy the world and he wanted to get more powerful and he did all that. So he faced the consequences. So Bhagavan of course knows everything and it's only that the Jiva has to utilize that tapobal and the boon that is got based on that in an intelligent way. But each one will be able to do what is their level only. Ravan is not at the level of Vibhishan that he can ask for devotion and all that. And his devotion also was very, very selfish devotion. He was not really devoted to Bhagavan where he surrendered the ego. That has not happened.
So Swamiji, basically God knows that if you do tapas, you will get it, but he also knows that he gives an exit. Like he said, if somebody shoots him in the navel, he will die. So there's always for Prahlad, he came as a Narsimhan Bhagwan, no? Even his Prahlad's father had done a lot of tapasya and couldn't be killed easily.
See, exit means what? Exit of everybody is there, no? Every jiva has to die.
Correct.
Prahlad, so Hiranyakashipu also again did Rajasic tapas and Hiranyakashipu again asked for a boon which was for power, etc. And so Bhagwan finally has to come and kill him. And Ravan also has to be killed like that. Even if Bhagavan doesn't come and kill, there is some other way in which he will die. Na? Exit of every jiva is anyway destined, because this is the
Correct.
Martya Loka.
Yeah, so my question was, I'm so confused in my question, that why does God grant these very these boons which are so powerful to these people?
Why not? If the jiva has done tapasya, he wants the boon, so he will grant the boon. That's all. No? What is wrong in that? He wants
And
that.
and then they misuse the boon.
So let them misuse. Why do you give money to your children, let us say? You matlab anybody.
Yeah.
Parents give money to their children. They go and smoke cigarette. So will you stop giving money?
No, yeah, it's the same analogy. You just give it
That's
and then
all.
you suffer the consequence. I give it to you, the boon.
So learn from that. Na? That's how it
Mm.
will be. How much can you withhold? The child has to walk, the child has to fall 10 times, then only child will walk. If freedom is given, it may get misused. So be ready, and whoever is giving that freedom, to face the consequences, and that person also who is misusing has to face consequences and learn from that. That's how it will go. Otherwise, how it will be? Everything can't be controlled. Na? What is the point of giving free will to a jiva if jiva cannot utilize it the way jiva wants to utilize it? If everything is sattvic, then it won't work. Na? So the creation goes in pairs of opposites. It is a three gunas also, sattva, rajas, tamas. And we only see those who are misusing. We are not seeing those who are using it well.
Yeah.
Boons were given to Prahlad also, boon was given to Dhruva also, boon is given to Vibhishan also, boon is given to Bali Raja also. So many people are there, so many jivas are there. Hanumanji also got a boon.
Okay. So it's how.
Devotees use it well,
Hmm.
not devotees misuse it. That is bound to happen.
Okay, understood. It's your free will after you've used that boon.
Correct.
Okay, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की मंगल प्रीति रीति धूम की मंगल कांति हसनी दसलन की मंगल मुरली दीना धुन की मंगल आरती मंगल बनिक त्रिभंगी हरि की मंगल सेवा सब सहचर की मंगल सिर चंद्रिका मुकुट की मंगल छवि नयन में अटकी मंगल आरती पभी अंग अंग की मंगल गौर श्याम रंग की मंगल अति कटि पियरे पट की मंगल चितमणि नागर नट की मंगल आरती मंगल शोभा कमल नयन की मंगल माधुरी मृदुल पैन की मंगल वृंदावन मद अटकी मंगल क्रीडन जमुना तट की मंगल आरती मंगल चरण अरुण तरुवन की मंगल करणी भगति हरिजन की मंगल जुगल प्रिया बावन की मंगल श्री राधा जीवन की मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की मंगल प्रीति रीति डोलिति मंगल आरती मंगल आरती। राधावर कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयम् अग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की।
ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।